Have you ever wondered how much time you really have left? I'm not asking to be morbid. I'm asking because understanding the signs your body is giving you could be the difference between a vibrant, active future and one cut unnecessarily short. Let me tell you about Martin. At 72, he seemed perfectly healthy during a family gathering. He played with his grandchildren, enjoyed dinner, and went home feeling fine. 3 months later, his family was planning his funeral. What happened? The truth is, Martin's body had been sending signals that something wasn't right. Signals he and his family missed because they didn't know what to look for. The scientific reality is that our bodies speak to us, especially after 60. Research shows that certain physical abilities and patterns aren't just random changes. They were powerful indicators of how long and how well you might live in the years ahead. The good news? Once you recognize these signs, you can often take action to improve them. In this video, I'll share 7 key indicators that scientists have linked directly to longevity. These aren't based on myths or old wives' tales. They come from decades of research studying thousands of older adults. By the end, you'll know exactly which signs to monitor in yourself or your loved ones, and more importantly, what you can do to add healthy years to your life. Don't miss the final insight. It's one that most people overlook, yet it holds incredible power in predicting what lies ahead. These markers could completely reshape how you see your future and add valuable years to your life. If this has sparked your interest, show your support by hitting the like button, subscribing to our channel, and sharing this video with those you care about. Together, let us make informed choices for a healthier, longer life. Sign 1. Your walking speed. One of the strongest predictors of how long you might live isn't hidden in your medical records or your family history. It is something much simpler: how fast you walk. Multiple studies spanning decades have consistently shown that people who maintain a steady, brisk walking pace in their 60s, 70s, and beyond tend to live significantly longer than those who slow down dramatically. Consider 2 friends, both 68 years old, James and Robert. James walks with purpose, keeps a steady pace when crossing the street, and easily keeps up with his grandchildren at the park. Robert, however, has noticeably slowed down in recent years. He takes frequent breaks, struggles on slight inclines, and finds himself breathless after just a short distance. What James doesn't realize is that his walking speed isn't just a habit. It is a reflection of his overall health. Walking requires the coordinated function of multiple systems: cardiovascular, respiratory, nervous, and musculoskeletal. When you walk briskly, it means these systems are working well together. When your pace slows significantly, it often signals underlying problems with one or more of these systems. Researchers at the University of Pittsburgh found that seniors with faster walking speeds had longer life expectancies than their slower counterparts, even after adjusting for age, gender, and other health factors. In fact, for every 0.1 meters per second increase in walking speed, there was a significant decrease in mortality risk. But here's the encouraging part. Walking speed isn't fixed. Even if you have noticed yourself slowing down, you can improve it with consistent effort. Start by adding just 5 to 10 minutes of walking to your daily routine. Focus first on consistency rather than speed. Once walking becomes a habit, gradually increase your pace by swinging your arms more deliberately and taking slightly longer strides. Adding interval training can be particularly effective. Try walking at a comfortable pace for 2 minutes, then pick up the pace for 30 seconds, and repeat. This pattern helps rebuild cardiovascular capacity and muscle strength. Another strategy is to incorporate specific strengthening exercises for the legs, particularly the quadriceps, which are essential for walking. Simple chair stands, sitting and standing from a chair without using your hands, can significantly improve leg strength and walking ability when done regularly. Pay attention to your walking speed. It is not just about getting from point A to point B. It is one of the clearest windows into your overall health and longevity. And remember, even small improvements can translate to added years of healthy, independent living. Sign 2. Your grip strength. The strength of your handshake isn't just a social nicety. It is actually one of the most revealing indicators of your overall health and potential longevity. Numerous studies have found that grip strength is a remarkably accurate predictor of mortality risk, cardiovascular health, and functional ability in older adults. Take Margaret and Elizabeth, both active 73-year-olds who enjoy gardening. Margaret can still open jars without assistance, carry groceries with ease, and firmly grip her gardening tools. Elizabeth, however, has begun asking for help with bottle caps, struggling with heavy bags and dropping items more frequently. What Elizabeth doesn't realize is that her weakening grip isn't just an inconvenience. It's her body sending an important message about her overall health. Grip strength is a powerful biomarker because it reflects overall muscle status throughout the body. When researchers from the Prospective Urban-Rural Epidemiology Study examined data from over 140,000 adults across 17 countries, they found that each 11-pound decrease in grip strength was associated with a 17% higher risk of dying from any cause. Even more striking, grip strength was a better predictor of cardiovascular mortality than systolic blood pressure, which doctors routinely measure. Why does grip strength matter so much? Your hands contain numerous small muscles that require good nerve function, circulation, and overall muscle health to operate effectively. When these systems begin to decline, your grip often weakens before other more obvious symptoms appear. It is like an early warning system for your body's overall decline. The good news is that grip strength is highly responsive to exercise. Simple activities like squeezing a stress ball while watching TV, doing wrist curls with light weights, or using inexpensive hand grippers can make a significant difference. Even everyday activities like kneading dough, gardening, or carrying groceries can help maintain hand strength when done regularly. For a more structured approach, try this simple exercise 3 times weekly. Hold a light weight, even a soup can works, in your hand with your palm facing up. Slowly curl your wrist upward, hold for 2 seconds, then slowly lower. Repeat 10-15 times, then switch hands. Gradually increase the weight as this becomes easier. Don't ignore changes in your grip strength. It is not just about opening jars. It is about understanding how well your entire body is functioning. If you notice a significant decline, talk to your doctor, as it could indicate underlying health issues that need attention. And remember, strengthening your grip doesn't just make daily tasks easier. It could quite literally help you hold on to life longer. If you're finding these insights valuable, please take a moment to give this video a thumbs up and comment "strength" below. It helps others find this important information, and I'd love to know you here with me. Now let us continue with our third longevity sign. Sign 3. Your balance ability. Most people don't think about their balance until they lose it, but your ability to maintain steady footing, especially standing on one leg, is one of the most reliable predictors of longevity after 60. Research published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that older adults who couldn't stand on one leg for at least 10 seconds had nearly twice the risk of death from any cause over the following decade. Consider Thomas and William, both 65-year-old retirees. Thomas regularly practices Tai Chi, can easily stand on one foot while putting on his pants, and rarely feels unsteady. William, however, has begun holding onto furniture when walking around his house, feels wobbly when reaching for items on high shelves, and recently had a close call when stepping off a curb. The difference in their balance abilities isn't just about convenience, it is a window into their overall health and potential lifespan. Balance is complex, requiring the seamless integration of your visual system, inner ear, proprioception, your body's awareness of its position, muscle strength, and neurological function. When any of these systems begins to decline, balance is often one of the first abilities affected. Poor balance doesn't just increase fall risk, though that's certainly serious, with falls being a leading cause of death in older adults. It also indicates potential problems with brain health, nerve function, or muscle strength that can impact longevity. A study from Kyoto University found that the inability to stand on one leg for at least 20 seconds was associated with a higher risk of small blood vessel damage in the brain and reduced cognitive function, both linked to shorter lifespan. Another study from Brazil showed that people who needed to use their hands or arms to get up from a seated position on the floor had a 5-6 times higher mortality rate over the study period than those who could get up independently. Here is the encouraging news. Balance is highly trainable, even in your 80s and 90s. Simple daily practices can make a dramatic difference. Start by standing on one foot while brushing your teeth, holding onto the counter if needed, and gradually reducing your support as you improve. Practice for 30 seconds on each foot, twice daily. For a more structured approach, try this progression. Stand with feet together for 30 seconds. Stand with one foot slightly in front of the other for stand heel to toe, like on a balance beam, for 30 seconds. Progress to standing on one foot for 30 seconds. Adding some gentle yoga poses or Tai Chi to your routine can be particularly effective, as these activities focus on controlled movement while maintaining balance. The tree pose in yoga, where you stand on one leg with the other foot resting on your inner thigh or calf, is especially beneficial. Just 5 to 10 minutes of balance practice daily can yield significant improvements within weeks. Pay attention to your balance. It is not just about preventing falls. It is about understanding how well your brain, nerves, and muscles are functioning together. If you notice significant balance problems, talk to your doctor, as addressing the underlying causes could not only improve your stability, but potentially extend your life. Sign 4. Your sleep quality. The way you sleep after 60 isn't just about feeling rested. It is a powerful indicator of how long you might live. Multiple studies have shown that both sleep duration and quality are strongly linked to mortality risk, with poor sleep associated with everything from cardiovascular disease to cognitive decline and weakened immunity. Meet Harold and George, both 71-year-old retirees. Harold sleeps soundly most nights, waking refreshed after about 7 hours. He occasionally has a restless night, but generally maintains a consistent sleep schedule. George, however, tosses and turns for hours before falling asleep, wakes multiple times during the night, and often feels exhausted despite spending 9+ hours in bed. What George doesn't realize is that his poor sleep quality isn't just making him tired, it is potentially shortening his life. During sleep, particularly deep sleep, your body performs critical maintenance functions, consolidating memories, clearing toxins from the brain, repairing tissues, and regulating hormones that control everything from appetite to stress response. When sleep is fragmented or insufficient, these processes are disrupted, accelerating aging and increasing disease risk. A large-scale study published in Neurology found that people with poor sleep quality had more beta-amyloid plaques in their brains, the same protein clusters associated with Alzheimer's disease. Another study from the University of California found that older adults with fragmented sleep had a 31% higher mortality risk compared to those who slept soundly, even after adjusting for other health factors. Sleep-disordered breathing, particularly sleep apnea, where breathing repeatedly stops and starts, is especially concerning. Research shows it increases the risk of heart attack, stroke, and sudden cardiac death. Unfortunately, many older adults have undiagnosed sleep apnea, dismissing symptoms like daytime sleepiness or morning headaches as just part of aging. The good news is that sleep quality can be improved at any age. Start by establishing a consistent sleep schedule, going to bed and waking up at the same time daily, even on weekends. Create a calming bedtime routine that signals to your body it's time to wind down. Perhaps reading, not on a screen, gentle stretching, or listening to soothing music. Make your sleep environment work for you. Keep your bedroom cool, around 65 degrees is optimal for most people. Dark and quiet. Consider blackout curtains, a white noise machine, or earplugs if needed. Replace your mattress and pillows if they are more than 8 to 10 years old, as they may no longer provide proper support. Limit screen time at least an hour before bed, as the blue light emitted can suppress melatonin production. Similarly, avoid caffeine after noon and alcohol within 3 hours of bedtime. Both can significantly disrupt sleep architecture, even if they don't prevent you from falling asleep initially. If you suspect sleep apnea, signs include loud snoring, gasping during sleep, or excessive daytime sleepiness. Talk to your doctor about a sleep study. Treating sleep apnea can dramatically improve not just sleep quality, but overall health and longevity. Pay attention to your sleep. It is not just about feeling refreshed, it is one of your body's fundamental restoration processes. Quality sleep doesn't just add life to your years. Research suggests it adds years to your life. If you are still with me and finding these insights valuable, please comment "sleep" below and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Your support helps us reach more people with this potentially life-changing information. Now, let us continue with our fifth longevity sign. Sign 5, your social connections. When it comes to predicting how long you will live after 60, your social calendar might be just as important as your medical chart. Extensive research has shown that people with strong social connections live longer, healthier lives than those who are isolated, with some studies suggesting that loneliness is as dangerous to health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Consider Eleanor and Patricia, both 74-year-old widows. Eleanor maintains an active social life. She meets friends for lunch weekly, volunteers at the local library, calls her children regularly, and participates in a walking group. Patricia, following her husband's death, has gradually withdrawn from most social activities. She rarely leaves her home except for essential errands, has lost touch with former friends, and interacts primarily with her television. What Patricia doesn't realize is that her isolation isn't just making her lonely, it is potentially shortening her life significantly. A landmark study from Brigham Young University that analyzed data from over 300,000 participants found that people with stronger social relationships had a 50% increased likelihood of survival compared to those with weaker social ties. This effect remained consistent across age, sex, initial health status, and cause of death. How do social connections impact longevity so dramatically? There are several mechanisms at work. First, social engagement keeps your brain active and challenged, which helps maintain cognitive function. Brain health and longevity are closely linked, with cognitive decline often preceding physical decline in older adults. Second, social connections provide practical support that can improve health outcomes. Friends who drive you to doctor appointments, family who notice when something seems wrong, or community members who check in during illness or extreme weather events. Third, meaningful relationships have direct physiological effects. Regular positive social interactions reduce chronic stress, which otherwise floods your system with cortisol and other inflammatory compounds that accelerate aging. Studies have shown that socially connected older adults have lower blood pressure, stronger immune systems, and reduced inflammatory markers compared to isolated individuals. The good news is that it's never too late to build or strengthen social connections. Start small if you've been isolated, perhaps joining a class related to an interest or volunteering once weekly. Local senior centers often offer activities specifically designed to foster connection among older adults. Technology can be a valuable tool, particularly for those with mobility challenges. Video calls with family, online communities centered around shared interests, or even social media platforms can provide meaningful connection when used intentionally. Focus on quality rather than quantity in your relationships. Research suggests that having a few deep, supportive connections is more beneficial for health than many superficial ones. Make an effort to maintain regular contact with the people who matter most to you. Consider how you can combine socialization with other health-promoting activities. Walking groups, for instance, provide both physical activity and social connection. Community gardening offers similar dual benefits, plus the nutritional boost of fresh produce. Pay attention to your social connections. They are not just about avoiding loneliness. They are a fundamental human need with profound implications for health and longevity. As the Harvard Study of Adult Development, one of the longest-running studies on happiness, concluded after following participants for 80-plus years, good relationships don't just protect our bodies, they protect our brains. Sign 6, your appetite and nutritional status. After 60, your appetite and eating habits reveal much more than just your food preferences. They can be powerful indicators of your overall health and potential longevity. Research consistently shows that maintaining good nutritional status is critical for healthy aging, while unintentional weight changes often signal underlying health issues that can impact lifespan. Meet Robert and Daniel, both 77-year-old retirees. Robert enjoys preparing meals, eats a varied diet rich in vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains, and maintains a stable weight. He looks forward to meal times and rarely skips eating. Daniel, however, has gradually lost interest in food. He finds cooking too much trouble, often forgets to eat, and has unintentionally lost 15 pounds over the past year. What Daniel doesn't realize is that his declining appetite and weight loss aren't just about changing tastes. They are potential warning signs about his health and longevity. Unintentional weight loss in older adults is associated with multiple adverse outcomes. A study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that older adults who lost 5% or more of their body weight over a 3-year period had a significantly higher mortality risk than those who maintained their weight, regardless of their starting weight. Why does appetite matter so much? First, adequate nutrition provides the energy and nutrients needed for all bodily functions. Without sufficient calories and protein, muscle mass declines more rapidly, a condition called sarcopenia, which increases frailty and fall risk. Second, many micronutrients play crucial roles in immune function, cognitive health, and disease prevention. Third, sudden appetite changes often indicate underlying medical issues ranging from dental problems to depression to serious illnesses like cancer. The good news is that appetite and nutritional status can usually be improved. If you've noticed a declining interest in food, start by ruling out simple causes. Are medications affecting your taste? Are dental problems making chewing difficult? Is depression dampening your enjoyment of meals? These issues can often be addressed effectively. Make eating as appealing as possible. Eat with others when you can. Research shows that people consume more and make healthier choices when eating in company. Use herbs and spices liberally to compensate for any age-related decline in taste sensitivity. Set a regular eating schedule rather than waiting until you feel hungry, as hunger cues often diminish with age. Focus on nutrient-dense foods rather than just calories. Protein is particularly important after 60, with research suggesting that older adults need more protein than younger people to maintain muscle mass. Aim for 25-30 grams of protein at each meal. Include plenty of colorful fruits and vegetables which provide antioxidants that combat the oxidative stress associated with aging. Consider protein supplements like shakes if you struggle to eat enough, especially after illness or hospitalization when protein needs increase. Even small nutritional improvements can have significant benefits. One study found that malnourished older adults who received nutritional supplements had a 50% lower mortality rate over a 12-month period compared to those who didn't. Pay attention to your appetite and weight. They were not just about appearance. They were important indicators of your nutritional status and overall health. Both significant weight loss and substantial weight gain can signal problems that may affect longevity. Maintaining good nutrition doesn't just help you feel better today. Research suggests it can add healthy years to your life. If you are finding these insights valuable, please take a moment to like this video and comment "nutrition" below. Your engagement helps others discover this important information. Now let's move on to our final and perhaps most surprising longevity indicator. Sign 7. Your ability to handle stress. Our final longevity sign might surprise you, as it is not something doctors typically measure in checkups. Yet research increasingly shows it as one of the most powerful predictors of how long and how well you all live after 60. Your ability to handle stress. Consider Charles and William, both 69-year-old retired executives. Charles approaches life's challenges with relative calm. When problems arise, a home repair, family disagreement, or health setback, he acknowledges his frustration, but then focuses on solutions rather than dwelling on the problem. William, however, reacts intensely to stressors. Minor inconveniences trigger anger, worries keep him awake at night, and he often finds himself replaying past difficulties or anxiously anticipating future ones. What William doesn't realize is that his stress response isn't just making him uncomfortable. It is potentially shortening his life considerably. Extensive research has shown that chronic stress accelerates aging at the cellular level. One striking study from the University of California found that women with high levels of perceived stress had significantly shorter telomeres, the protective caps on our chromosomes, than those with lower stress levels. Shorter telomeres are associated with accelerated aging and earlier onset of age-related diseases. Stress affects nearly every system in your body. It elevates inflammatory markers, which are linked to heart disease, diabetes, and cognitive decline. It disrupts sleep, weakens immune function, and even changes how your genes express themselves. A 2023 study from Yale University found that older adults with better stress management skills had a 43% lower mortality risk over a 7-year period compared to those with poor stress coping mechanisms. The good news is that how you respond to stress is largely within your control, even if the stressors themselves aren't a T. Resilience, the ability to adapt well in the face of adversity, can be developed at any age. Start by practicing mindfulness, which research shows can actually change brain structure in areas related to stress response. Even 5 to 10 minutes daily of focused breathing or meditation can make a measurable difference. Physical activity is one of the most effective stress remedies, as it reduces stress hormones while increasing endorphins. Walking in nature is particularly beneficial, with studies showing it lowers cortisol levels more effectively than walking in urban environments. Reframe how you think about stressors. Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? Or is worrying changing the outcome? This cognitive distancing can help break the cycle of rumination. The Stanford Center on Longevity found that older adults who viewed stressful events as challenges rather than threats showed better cardiovascular recovery and improved immune function. Social support is crucial for stress resilience. Having trusted people you can talk to about concerns doesn't just feel good, it actually buffers the physiological effects of stress. One study found that the negative impact of stress on mortality was significantly reduced in people with strong social connections. Pay attention to how you handle stress. It is not just about feeling calmer, it is about protecting your body from the damaging effects of chronic stress hormones. Learning to respond to life's challenges with greater equanimity doesn't just improve your daily experience. Research suggests it can add years to your life and life to your years. We've covered 7 key signs that research has linked to longevity after 60. Your walking speed, grip strength, balance ability, sleep quality, social connections, nutritional status, and stress resilience. These aren't just random health metrics. They are windows into how well your body is aging and powerful predictors of how many healthy years you might have ahead. The most encouraging aspect of these longevity indicators is that most of them are within your control to improve. You can walk a little faster each day, strengthen your grip with simple exercises, practice balance while brushing your teeth, improve your sleep habits, nurture meaningful relationships, pay attention to your nutrition, and develop better stress management skills. Small, consistent efforts in these areas can yield significant results over time. Consider this. Studies show that people who score well on just 4 of these 7 factors have a dramatically lower mortality risk compared to those who done T. Imagine the compounding benefits of addressing all 7 areas in your life. If you've recognized areas where you need improvement, don't be discouraged. The human body has remarkable resilience even in later years. A study from the Cooper Institute found that adults who began exercising in their 60s and 70s showed almost the same reduction in mortality risk as those who had been active their entire lives. It is truly never too late to make positive changes. Start small. Choose just one area to focus on this week. Perhaps it's adding a daily 10-minute walk, practicing standing on one foot while waiting for the kettle to boil, or calling an old friend you've lost touch with. These small actions, when done consistently, can create powerful momentum toward better health and longer life. Remember that longevity isn't just about adding years to your life. It is about adding life to your years. The same practices that help you live longer also help you live better, with greater independence, sharper cognition, and more energy to enjoy the people and activities you love. Thank you for joining me today in exploring these evidence-based longevity indicators. If you found this information valuable, please consider supporting our channel by subscribing, hitting the like button, and sharing this video with someone you care about. Your engagement helps us continue creating content that can truly make a difference in people's lives. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which of these 7 signs resonated most with you, and what step will you take this week to improve in that area? Your story might inspire others on their own longevity journey. Until next time, here is to your health, your happiness, and many vibrant years ahead.